add these practice problems to the bottom of your 8.1 investigation. And what I'd like you to do is pause the video, copy down these three problems, problem 1, 3, and 4. We're skipping problem 2. And try to find the area of the shaded region of each one. Once you've had a chance to do that, restart the video, and then you can check your work and see if you're right. Compare your answers with the answers that I got. Notice first of all that each of my answers is labeled with units, centimeters squared in each case. For the first one, I split the big shape up into two smaller rectangles and then figured out the area of each one and added it together. For number 3, I figured out the area of the entire big rectangle, and then I subtracted the holes from it, the two white rectangles. I did a similar sort of thing on the last one where I figured out the area of the big shape, and then I needed to subtract the two parallelograms. We know the area of a parallelogram is base times height. The base of each one is 2, and then the height would be how long it is on a perpendicular segment from base to base. So the height of each of those parallelograms is still 9. Remember, with a parallelogram, it does not matter how long the slanty side is. What you really want to know is how long is the height, and the height of those parallelograms is 9. Here are a few more practice problems to add. Pause the video and try to figure out an answer to those 4 problems. And once you think you have an answer, restart the video to compare your answers with mine. For this first problem, they talk about the width. And if they're saying length and width, or if they're saying base and height, those are just different words for the same concepts. The area formula for a rectangle is still base times height, or you could also call it length times width. Whenever we're solving problems like this where we're working backwards, I really strongly recommend writing the area formula down first. On the test, you will need to show work on problems like this for full credit. Whatever it is that you're typing in on your calculator, that's your work, and you should get in the habit of writing the equation. Yes, this is a fairly simple one to solve in your head, maybe without showing work, but they will get more difficult, and it's good to be in the habit of writing the formula first. Then you can plug in the numbers that you know for base and for height, for base and for area, and then you can solve for the height by dividing both sides by 44. Notice this time the units on my answer are just meters and not meters squared, and that's because I was finding a height and not an area. For the second one, you need to realize that 1 square yard is the same thing as 9 square feet. That's because, yes, there are 3 feet in every yard, so in a square yard, that would get split up into 9 square feet, not just 3 square feet. So those 20 square yards of carpet is actually 180 square feet of carpet. The room is 12 feet 6 inches by 16 feet 6 inches. 6 inches is half of a foot, so you could change the 12 feet 6 inches into 12.5 and the 16 feet 6 inches into 16.5 and figure out that the area of the room, base times height, is 206.25 square feet. So no, there are more square feet of the room than there is of the carpet, so there will not be enough carpet to cover that room. The next one is another example where you should write the formula first, area equals base times height, then plug in the numbers that you know for area and for base, and divide both sides by 18.9 to get a height of 27.3 centimeters. Again, the answer is just a height, so you're going to label it centimeters, not centimeters squared. For the last one, it helps to draw a picture of it. We know that the height is 29 and that the perimeter is 132. The perimeter is what you get if you add up all the sides. So if I add up 29 plus base, that should equal 132. So by subtracting 58 and then dividing by 2, I figure out that the base of that rectangle must be 37. Now that I know the base is 37, I can plug it into my area formula and figure out that the area of that shape must be 1073 meters squared. The units are meters squared because we're talking about an area.